Hello and welcome to the show. Get ready for a really good conversation. You know, some know Tameka Foster Raymond as a celebrity stylist, author, television personality with big personality. Others know her as the former wife of Grammy Award-winning singer Usher Raymond. But Tameka says there's a lot more to her story than any of those descriptions can truly capture. So she's here to tell her story in her own words. Please welcome Tameka Foster Raymond to the show. Hello, beautiful.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. I have looked forward to sharing your story and women being inspired by the lessons of turning these tests into testimonies, right? That is what we do.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Let's talk about, though, let's start with this career of yours. Amazing career as a stylist, but I love that it starts as a 7-year-old who's like, I got a knack for this.
That's right. I worked in my Aunt Sadie's boutique. She had a pre-owned clothing boutique, and we had to go through bags and bags of antique clothing and vintage clothing. And I learned a lot about fabrics, and I learned everything, how to steam clothes at a young age.
Wow.
And she would have us go and launder it, and we'd have to do everything. So I learned a lot.
So how did you go from Aunt Sadie's to the woman who is designing and styling for some of the biggest names in music and fashion?
It's a great question. I ended up, when I finished school, I moved to Los Angeles. I was living in Oakland, California. And I moved to LA and I went to the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising.
Okay.
So my goal was to become a buyer. I wanted to be a buyer for all the major stores. I didn't know which one at the time, but I just envisioned myself sitting front row at a fashion show and selecting items. Yeah.
Nice. But then you end up styling.
I end up styling
artists and entertainers.
That's right. A friend came to me and said, I love your style. I have a new group coming out and we want you to give the girls your look. And I thought, what is my look? It was just my normal, the way I dress.
That's just how fly I am.
And so I had to put it together. And the group was 702.
Of course.
That was my first client. I did Subway and 702 for their video, This Little Game We Play. And it was wonderful. It was a start of, it was like snowballed. It was referral after referral, which kind of got me to,
Which how you get to the point where like, Mary J. Blige wants you, right?
Yeah.
Sierra wants you.
Yeah, Patti LaBelle.
It must be such a good feeling when people see your work on someone else and say, I want that look.
Yeah, it does feel good. I'm very humble about it because I always think like, wow, I can't believe that, these different artists are calling me, that I can't believe they want me to style them because it's so natural to me. It's just, I don't know, it's second nature.
But it speaks to having faith and the humility of just doing what you're working in your gift, right?
Yes.
This is also how you came to know Usher, though, right?
Yeah.
You were his stylist.
Yeah, I had to do a presentation for his label and for his management, who was his mom at the time, and I had to present all the ideas that I had for his look, and it is obviously done very well. He's
doing very, very
He's
well.
Doing really, really well. So,
and then of course, one thing leads to another, and over time, a professional relationship becomes personal, and you guys got married.
Yeah, we were best friends. I mean, when you're with someone that much, you start spending just time. We became very, very good friends, and then,
then
life happens.
Right,
then life happens.
Right. And we all understand, we're all grown. Sometimes divorce can be very hard. It's sometimes the hardest chapter of our lives. But you guys push through.
Of course.
Push through.
Yes, we have beautiful children.
Absolutely.
We're in a great space.
Yes, indeed. And I have to imagine there's got to be even just some pride to get to see him. I understand that you prayed for him, supported for him to get to do a Super Bowl for years.
I feel like I'm going to be performing. That's how excited I am.
That's a beautiful thing to say.
I'd say I'm so excited and I'm so nervous. I'm nervous like as if it were my performance. Because I'm happy. I'm like overwhelmed. I'm just happy about it. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. And I think there's even a lesson there in the growth that comes and the healing that comes with the passage of time.
My children get to see it. See, that's what I think, that's where the joy for me is that my sons get to see their father, in his glory is beautiful. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then too, for you, I mean, I've read where you've said, listen, I was doing some things before I was Usher Raymond's wife, and you're doing a whole
yeah.
lot since then.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, authoring books, you are still a celebrity stylist. You've got
Yes.
all kinds of projects that we're
Yeah.
going to be talking about later in the show. But I guess I'm wondering, in this season right now, the biggest lesson that you have learned about yourself standing in the midst of a storm, because we haven't
You
even
have to
gotten to the
remain
roughest
in a
part.
beautiful state at all times, at all costs, and don't major in the minors.
Tell me more.
Yes.
Don't major in the minors.
Don't major in the minors. If it's not going to affect you in a month or in 3 years, let it go. You really have to let things go.
How long did it take to get to that space? Because sometimes those minors, we will go into a whole
it's
headstorm in those.
I'm a work in progress. I can't say that I've, conquered it all. I still get upset. I still get shaken. But you have two states of being that you can be in. You can either suffer or you can be in a beautiful state. And I choose to be in a beautiful state.
And the beautiful state is the theme that is woven throughout the book
Yes.
that you wrote.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that a lot more. But we're also going to touch on the toughest chapter that you've had to heal from.
Yes.
When we return. And up next, it has been a decade since Tameka suffered a devastating loss. Coming up, you're going to hear how she turned the pain of losing her son into purpose. One day, one mission at a time. Stay with us.